Welcome to Heart Magic Wisdom. Today I want to look at the soul trap in terms of good and bad. And you can always, whatever happens, whatever the situation is, you can always put words around it and turn it into a positive story. And you can always put words around it and turn it into a negative story. For example, if you think the soul trap is true, and some sort of entities are trying to put you here again and again to extract some sort of energy from you, then now you can say this is bad because it feels bad and there is negative forces in the universe that are parasitic. And you can also say this is good because probably at the end of the process, we will have many entities who are much stronger and they can't be tricked anymore or they can't be forced anymore because they have grown so much that they can't be, let's say, enslaved anymore. And like in regular life, in everyday life, you always can steer the thing in a direction of good or bad. I mean, even if you have the worst day of your life, you can probably still find some positive things, like your girlfriend cheated on you and you lost your job and your mom died. And then you can still maybe have good air quality and be appreciative of the air quality. Or maybe it's the other way around, you just won the lottery and maybe today is the day that you finally got the promotion that you wanted. And then you can still say, well, I wish I was taller and more famous. And this is something that we have influence over. This is like our personality. We can decide to focus more on the positive or focus more on the negative. And also, like attracts like. So if you're having a really bad day, then it's easy to feel like everything is wrong with the world. See how bad it is everywhere. Look at the bad things everywhere. And if you're having a really good day, it's easy to see good things everywhere. And so, for example, difficult situations that are the right amount of difficult are usually seen as positive because these situations give you the opportunity to grow, and then at the end you're stronger. And also, how would you even know who you were if there were no difficult situations? I mean, if you never experienced yourself in a difficult situation, then you can always say, well, I would handle it really well. I would make sure that everything is taken care of. I wouldn't be overly emotional. I would solve the problem. I would be charismatic and everything, But how do you know? So the only way to know for sure is to get yourself in the exact situation and then figure it out. So let's say the universe wants to know how it would act if it was getting soul trapped or soul tricked. And it can't know for sure until it does it to itself, And now already with this explanation, we have like an ultimate type of experiment. You can say, wow, isn't that crazy cool, positive? The universe really wants to know itself. It wants to know what it is, it wants to know how will it free itself from this situation. And some people think Earth is a school, and sure, but what if the final test is you have to demonstrate your ability to get out again, and this is like the final test, and that would be a much better test than you just have to memorize something. Like some people think the phrase, I accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior, is somehow a big achievement of learning some great thing, and now they did it. But to me, obviously, that's not anything at all. I mean, what did they learn? They learned a few words in an order, and now they think because they learned these like 10 or so words in an order that they will pass the school. And that's, I mean, not that impressive. But if there was a school and the test was, are you strong enough and mentally clear enough and willing enough to make the right choices so you can even get out, which means to pass the test, then that's a really good test to know what your consciousness level, ability level, or whatever is. So this is how I feel it probably is. And I think it's very important to be positive. And however it is, you won't have a better chance if you're negative on top. So you have to start with being positive and then work your way from there. So these are just some simple thoughts in addition to this mystery picture of Soul Trap. And, there are some problems with it. And the problems with it are the extent to how bad things can get. Seemingly there is no end to how bad things can get. And that is a problem. I can't really explain it away. But in general, the Soul Trap is, in its idea, I think, a good strategy of the universe. Like, how do you get entities who are kind of naive and not experienced to get really smart and experienced? You throw them in more and more difficult situations and let them learn how to deal with them. And to make absolutely sure that people get the lesson, you make it so that this level that they maybe agree to go into, they can only leave when it is obvious that they have learned the lesson. And the lesson is that they are autonomous beings that make their own decisions from their own judgment, and they aren't that easy to trick, and they aren't just following orders or following their surroundings. And if you want this, and if maybe these souls even wanted to have this characteristic, now they have this training simulation, and it's guaranteed that at the end of it, they will be smart and loving and free at the end. And so you can say all the souls who are here have this destination, and that's overall good. And I see a lot of good in this design, and obviously a lot of bad, because you can always see some good things and some bad things. Cool. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think, and see you soon.